led 10-1. The United States played the ugliest 11 points maybe in the history of Olympic volleyball to fall behind, and then they played beautifully to catch up and take game one.
Well, they played with some purpose, played with some determination, and challenged the Japanese. Before that, they were letting the Japanese just run around, play their game, and were just lackadaisical.
The United States touched the net, so Japan will get the ball. Japan wearing red uniforms. Japan qualifying for the Olympic Games by winning the final qualifying tournament. It was in Japan. Of course, Japan won it. Netherlands second, Ukraine third. Yoko Zetterlund sets star cross battle, and she has it off the block. Was there a touch? Let's see. They call it out of bounds, and they'll give the ball to Japan. Remember, Japan is maybe the shortest team in women's volleyball, so you really have to aim for those little fingers.
Well, they're the shortest team in the Olympic Games, and that's all you care about. Does the ball hit the block? Absolutely. Off the top of the tape, into the Japanese blocker, and then out of bounds, but the United States does not get the call.
Yoko Zetterlund sets left side, and Tara cross battle is blocked. Zetterlund, back set. Bev Oden back in there. And off the top, nice up by Elaine Youngs. Cross battle. Dug up by Nakanishi. Left side, Saiki. Elaina Oden, yes. These long rallies will drive the United States absolutely nuts. It's the way the Japanese want to play. They want to make you hit the ball 6-7 times in order to get possession of the ball or score a point. The United States, day in, day out in practice, is working on 1, 2, 3 side out. They either buy into the rhythm of the Japanese or play their own game. Nice up by the United States. Scoop it to Elaina Oden. And Japan doing a nice job of blocking so far. On the right side, Ikumi Ogake fires it down, her 5th kill. Yoko Zetterlund is the setter for the United States. Tara cross battle, Tammy Liley, Elaina Oden, and Bev Oden, the starting lineup for the Americans. Liley dinks. Japan looking for a point. Nice defense, little pinball defense. Left side, and the ball whacked out of bounds.
If I were the United States and I was going to work on one thing, it would be receiving serve and improve your side-out game. They're playing good defense, of course, the United States is, but they can't outmatch Japan. That is their specialty. They practice defense 6 hours a day. The Americans practice blocking and hitting.
Got a muscle on. Nice dig by Zetterlund.
That's a terrible set.
And the looper is dug up by Yoshihara. Back set, Liley off 1 foot, and she puts it away.
The United States wants to make life easy. You win the serving and receiving battle. They have not been serving tough enough against the Japanese. If you don't, the pass is right on target, and then you get real confused watching the Japanese team run these perfect patterns. As example, right there. Obayashi coming around on the X play. Nakanishi with a good set and kill.
Chiko Nakanishi is the setter. Motoko Obayashi, who you see there. Tomoko Yoshihara is in. Mika Saiki, Asako Tajimi, and Mikumi Ogake as Japan gets another point.
Working on Elaine Youngs. They know that Elaine Youngs is the newest outside hitter on the U.S. squad. Very familiar with a veteran's Tara cross battle. And, of course, T. Williams, and going right at Elaine Young, serving her as often as they can. Make a mistake, you're going to Tara, but she makes a bad pass.
There's some heat. Elaine Youngs thunders it through.
Elaine Youngs has the athletic ability, I think, to hit a much quicker outside set, and I would love to see that. The high set to the outside just gives the defense a chance to get set.
The United States won game 1. Japan leading here in game 2, 2-1. Americans having trouble terminating. Elaina Oden can't get there. Side out Japan.
So the Japanese won't just run straight lines at you because they know, for the football analogy, their running backs are just too small to create an opening. Lots of fakes, lots of step-ins and step-outs. Look like they're going to hit in one spot and then move into another area. As a blocker, you have to be very wary.
Zetterlund sets left, and what an up by Ogake. Youngs. And a free ball to Japan.
Quick set. Oden got it up. And Oden pops it over. Two sisters. Another dig by Elaine Oden. America's not bettering the ball. They're not getting it up near the net.
Gonna get a chance here with a freebie.
2-1 Japan. Right side, Oden. Another dig by Ogake. But it does not come over, in the United States will get the ball.
Japan has had 10 point scoring opportunities in this game so far. It's 2-1, 10 point scoring opportunities. They're 0 for 10.
Pretty good pass there. And there's a stuff, Elaine Young. She's really a terminal player. Great athletic ability, jumps, the former basketball player. She can hit and block well.
And she's got a wonderful jump serve that we really haven't seen much of so far in the Olympic Games, and I'd really like to see her start breaking that out so it's ready for the playoffs.
2-2, United States trying to turn. Bev Oden around the horn, and she whacks it down. Bev Oden, 5 kills.
The United States doing a better job now of controlling the ball. And like the Japanese, the United States isn't going to just line up and drive the ball straight at you. They're going to attack you outside on the pins, and Bev Oden being very active there.
Off the block, a fine hit by Tomoko Yoshihara. She has 6 kills. Terry Luskevich, the winningest coach in USA women's volleyball history. He was asked earlier this week if he had butterflies in the Olympics. He said yes, but this time they're all flying in formation, so he's ready for it. Bev Oden was there.
Not so sure they were in game 1 when the United States was down 10 when they were diving for cover.
I said he's ready for it. I didn't say his team is ready for it. 3-2 the United States. There is Kuniaki Yoshida, the Luskevich of Japan.
Not
coaching
quite.
on the other side. Set left. Ogake. They'll set her again. And she puts it away down the line. Game 2, the United States ahead by 1.
The Americans up early.
Certainly stirred, but I don't think should be shaken. This American team is a medal favorite. That has not changed and should not, based on the loss to China. The Chinese outplayed the Americans, but the Americans can get right back in this tournament. And in Pool A, if they eliminate some of the errors, 38 hitting errors is way too many against a quality opponent, and that's why China won.
Since 1983, Japan and the United States have played a whopping 153 times. What about this match? How important is it?
That must be a world record number.
I said whopping.
Yeah, it was a whopper. But this match in particular gets pretty near the top of the list, and for reasons that are not necessarily immediately apparent. The United States has handled Japan quite easily over the last several years, but the United States, after the loss, can no longer finish first in Group A. They have to beat Japan tonight and probably beat them 3-0 in order to finish second. The problem is if they don't finish second and drop down to third position, they're in a world of hurt in the quarterfinals when they face Cuba. You don't want to do that if you want to get to the gold medal match.
Yoko Zetterlund will serve. The United States has outscored Japan 20-4 since Zetterlund came in at 9-0. There she is again. She's had 2 stuff blocks in this run. The Americans humming, and there's another block.
Zetterlund's the spark. She's been screaming at the Japanese. Of course, we've talked about the fact that she grew up there. Her father a Swede, her mother a Japanese, of Japanese descent, went to high school there, went to college there, played for Seguro Furici at Waseda University. And then because she had dual citizenship and played on the Japanese junior team, Seguro called Doug Beal and said, hey, do you need a backup setter? Got an opportunity in a tryout with Terry Luskevich. Didn't play that much in 1992, although she started against the Japanese. But now, hey, has she taken over the starting role from Lori Endicott? That's the key question that'll be answered in the next match.
There is Yoko Zetterlund. The Americans leading 6-2. X-play, cross battle, booms it. Nakanishi digs it. Tajimi. A lot of balls going straight up off the block. Elaina Oden slams it down the line, and Japan is into the net. 6 kills for EO.
That comeback by the United States took such a brief period of time. Really physically didn't hurt the United States in terms of carrying that momentum into the second game, but just destroyed the Japanese. Out 10-1 and can't close it out.
Zetterlund back set. Liley. Yeah. Lori Endicott, T. Williams, ineffective in game 1. Zetterlund coming in, along with Elaine Youngs, and Japan calls timeout. Group A standings, led by China, and of course, as Paul told you, that the United States wants to finish second.
Well, you see China on top, South Korea in second place. The Netherlands has bounced back and is now 2-2, so it's wide open. The United States, as I talked about, wants to finish second in the pool. They need to win 3-0 here, and then that gives them some breathing room when they play South Korea. South Korea lost to China 3-2, and then surprisingly lost to the Netherlands. So now the top four may not change, but it's imperative that the United States finish in second position.
There is Yoko Zetterlund. When she turned 22, she was living in Japan. Since she had dual citizenship, she had to forego and choose a country. That's the story. Zetterlund chose the United States. Now she's playing against her former country, Japan, and she is fired up to the max. Left side, Obayashi over the top. 6 kills for Obayashi. And now a substitution. Aki Nagatomi is coming in. Nagatomi, a bigger player, a frontliner, and she'll replace Chiko Nakanishi. Remember, Nakanishi only 5'4", trying to get some blocking in. Of course, that's been the historical problem with Japan. They just don't have a lot of tall people over there. Elaine Young
Thundering the ball through the block, and I was concerned. The United States serve reception is real deep. If I'm Japan, I serve them short. Tara Cross Battle made a nice recovery, and then the set to the outside. See, Japan's serve receive much more bunched up.
Elaina Oden pops it up at 7-2, looking for 8. Liley, not yet.
The United States cover is not as ready as they should be. Expecting, maybe hoping too much that Tammy Liley will put that ball away. If you see a spiker in front of you swinging at the ball, you better be ready. That means down and ready as if the ball's coming to you.
Japan has 4 stuff blocks. Nobody there on that encounter. Japan can get a point, and they do. Nagatomi slams it down. Game 2, 7-3, United States. Game 2. Ouch. 4. Ouch. Ouch is right. That's legal now, folks, as the Americans scrambling a bit. Here's Japan in red. Back set. Oh, what a knock by Cross Battle. Set Liley. And Japan is there. Tough to put the ball down. Japan, a very good flow. Another fabulous dig. Cross Battle. Liley fires it, and Japan digs. This is a good rally. Over to Obayashi. She's dug. Can the Americans put it away? Elaina Oden. Wow, she dinked it right to Japan. Psyche. And the Americans touch the net. What fabulous defense by number 13 in white, Tara Cross Battle.
Looked like a beach game. Looked like Sinjin Smith or Karch Kirai or Holly McPeak playing one-person defense behind the block from one sideline to the other and back again. And she kept the rally going. It was just a net violation by the United States that ended it.
Youngs. Obayashi got it. Motoko Obayashi, 7 kills for her, and it's now 10-5. The Americans leading.
Have to be very disciplined against Obayashi. I would take her line, not let her hit that cheesy little shot off the end blocker and force her to hit cross court.
Youngs whiff on the pass, and so Japan gets it to 10-6. Psyche still serving.
They've been going after Youngs and go right back to her.
Elaina Oden booms it, but it's out of bounds. And now Japan starting to creep. Make it 10-7.
Elaina Oden's already gotten 21 sets, and we talked about the fact that she looked fatigued, and as a middle blocker, she's involved in every play defensively when she's in the front court.
Kristen Klein will come in for the United States. She beat out Stanford star Kristen Fogle for the last spot on the squad. Elaina Oden is going to get a rest. So here is Kristen Klein. Overhand. Left side, Obayashi snaps it down. Wow. Is that on purpose that the Japanese are setting that ball so tight to the left side?
Absolutely. The rules now in international volleyball, if you're not used to it, is that virtually anything goes on the first contact. That's digging, blocker coverage, or serve reception. So you're seeing a lot of women's teams where the jump serve is not so predominant, moving way up into the court and taking that shorter serve overhand. Makes life a lot easier.
Nakamura serving. The backcourt sub. Liley, a bullet down the line. 8 kills for Tammy Liley.
Good combination play behind. Paula Weishoff attracts the middle blocker one-on-one. Liley should put that ball away and does.
United States led 10-4. It's now 10-7. Nice up there. Left side, Youngs. She's hitting cross court, and Japan is digging her. Obayashi. There, she's getting a rhythm now, Paul. She's taking that quick four and putting it down.
Well, you can't take a high set if you're the Japanese players on the outside. You're just waiting for the big blockers of the United States to get in front of you. So Obayashi, who used to play in the opposite position, now on the outside, has really worked that into her repertoire. Quick sets to the outside.
And that time, Youngs with some big heat. 5 kills for Elaine Youngs.
And I think the United States, to stop Obayashi when she's in the front court, is assign the middle blocker to her. The set's so fast to the outside, you might as well go one-on-one with the middle blocker.
Number 4, Caren Kemner will come in for Elaine Youngs. Caren Kemner, a great athlete. In fact, it was her softball coach, Harvey Phillips, the first coach to recognize her athletic talents. He was a great softball player, then turned her attention to volleyball. That ball was blocked. Zetterlund has a couple of stuffs. And the Americans 4 contacts. So give Japan the ball. We're in game 2. The United States ahead by 3. Nakatomi serving. Kemner brings in that intensity. Back set to Weishoff. Dug. And over by Japan. Weishoff with the drive.
Only Weishoff's second kill, but that is her patented play. Takes the free ball pass, one-legged takeoff. Of course, copied an awful lot by Tammy Liley right now, who's also a very effective side-out hitter for the United States.
Paula Weishoff serving.
And a good one. Look where this set is coming from.
Off speed, Liley pancake, yes. Elaina Oden, loopy, got it!
The Japanese defense comes scrambling up here because Elaina Oden, they expect heat from her, didn't really have an approach. Back to the net, driving her legs as best she can to get some liftoff. Excellent loopy to the deep corner.
11-7 the United States. And off the block, out of bounds. Give the ball to Japan. Japan will sub again. Here comes Tajimi back in, and going out is the defensive specialist, Nakamura. So Japan way back to serve. Tomoko Yoshihara to initiate. Kemner, perfect pass. Oden. Japan, not that time. So the United States gets the kill. The Americans up by 4. 13-7. Caren Kemner has provided some pizzazz in this game too. Just moments ago, getting a stuff. And they get another one. Paula Weishoff and Caren Kemner, the 34 combination.
You said that these teams have played over 150 times. Kemner and Weishoff have played about 90% of those. And most of those against Obayashi, they know that cross-court shot and put it right back on her.
Game point for the United States. Dug by Oden. Back set, Weishoff. Japan running. The Americans going to get a free ball. Look for Weishoff coming around the horn. The play she used in Barcelona. She digs. Nope, it wasn't. Japan on the attack. Obayashi hits it out. And the United States wins game 2.
Yoko Zetterlund continues to lead the way, and Caren Kemner came off the bench for Elaine Youngs, stuffed a couple of balls. Just a much better team effort by the United States, and showing a lot of appreciation for this crowd that got behind them. Remember when they were down 10-1 all the way back in the first game. Paula Weishoff cranking, and the Japanese just continue to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. But now they've got a pretty big hole that they're in right now because the United States is playing their style of volleyball, which means overpower the Japanese. They're serving tougher, and the vets have gotten in there and really shown some leadership. That ball hit out of base.
Came back to 8-5. Just moments ago, Brazil scored another point. That's where we stand right now, 9-5. Jeff Nygaard punching it through. Nygaard with 4 kills. The United States trying to get momentum. It's a light crowd here tonight, as you might imagine, with the events of the day. In fact, I think it's the least attended match that we've had so far. Maurício Lima sets left. Giovanni and Loy ball. Beautiful dig. Landry. Tande digs back. Back to Giovanni. Ball with another dig. Ctvrtlik sets Landry. Oh, what a dig by Negrão. They'll set Negrão. Dug by Ball. Lambert keeps it alive. Loy ball. Quick set. And the put away.
Nice dig by Loy ball. Lambert was not ready. This rally continues to go on, but the key to this play, and maybe to the game for the United States, is afterwards. We saw the blowfish for the first time in 2 matches. Loy ball really fired up.
9-6 as Giovanni Gavio answers. 6'5", 196 pounds. Giovanni now 25 years old. This Brazilian team is in its prime. After winning 92, a lot of expectations. Brazilian fans got a lot of fat heads that wanted to make a lot of money, and they have not lived up to their Olympic standards.
Have not won a thing since the 92 Olympic Games. This is a team that went overseas and cashed in. The contract sizes, Marcelo Negrão signed a contract for $800,000 to play in Italy before he left Barcelona. Same with Tande. They're about the same. You've talked about Giovanni.
Marcelo Negrão pumps it through. 7 kills for the big fella. He's still only 23 years old. He's been around forever.
If he were playing in the collegiate system, he would be in his first year with the national team.
Good pass by Ivy. It's 9-6, and the United States really working Brazil now. We mentioned that Carlau, Antonio Gouveia, is here, but he's not really available to play. Max Pereira, number 10, playing with a sprained ankle. And that is the Achilles heel of Brazil. Their middle blockers are not experienced and not healthy. Here's Negrão, dug by the United States, but the Americans crossed the center line. It was Lambert.
The center line is a neutral zone underneath the court. You can be on it with any part of your foot. You must fully cross into your opponent's court for it to be a violation. The United States doing a bit better job of getting some touches. Lambert, when he turned to pedal backwards to get back into the play, that's when he went under.
You have good eyesight.
I have x-ray vision there. The referee was blocking it, but I've seen that play a million times, so I know what happened.
Okay. Make that Mike Lambert. Fires it through. And the United States gets the ball back.
Ball smiling.
Yeah, but we need to see him snarling, don't we?
Well, the smile comes first. This is just the prelude.
Pretty good dig by Landry. United States looking for 7. Lambert, yes.
Lambert's made a nice adjustment. He's hitting the ball higher and flatter off the top of the Brazilian block.
Remember, early in the game, Brazil was running around. A lot of emotional energy now. The United States has dragged it out, trying to put the pressure on Brazil. You don't see the happy faces on the Brazilians. They're still pounding away, of course. Loy ball, backstep, Lambert. Again.
Brazil's got to be careful. They've already suffered a lot of frustration here in the Olympics. The unexpected injuries, the first 2-game losses, and then they thought they had the United States down, and they're struggling to find an answer here and get a side out.
Coming into the tournament, Captain Bob Ctvrtlik had some concerns about the opposite position. He talked about the young guns for the United States.
I have some concerns about our opposite. We've got Mike Lambert. He's I think, 21-year-old out of Stanford. Still will go back to school next year, complete his senior year, and he's got to carry a huge load for us. Behind him is Tom Sorensen, who Mike beat out. and neither of them have really stepped up to the plate. It's a crucial, huge position for us, and we're waiting for one of them to take the position and just grab it and run with it. And for us to be a medal contender, for us to win a gold medal, one of them is going to have to come up huge.
Fred Sturm said Mike Lambert is a hammer, albeit he's a green hammer. He's a young hammer, but he is the next great American hitter, a la Pat Powers and Steve Timmons. 9-8 now, Brazil by 1. Negrão on the left, and he pumps it through. Marcelo Negrão, powerful. He has 9 kills.
This was the best hitter in the Olympic Games in 1992. Just can literally go right over the top of the block.
Pretty good pass there. Loy ball shovels it to Ivy, and Ivy slips it through.
Brazil's defense does not look quite as good as I expected. They make some spectacular defensive plays, particularly by Tande and Giovanni and Maurício, but sometimes just the standard be in good position, play straight up defense, they're not there.
Negrão, Ctvrtlik, beach dig. Nygaard loopy. Maurício back set. Negrão, he hit it out.
Begging for the touch are the Brazilians. Good effort by the United States.
It is 9-9 as the Americans have come on. Coliseum downtown Atlanta, Brazil and the United States. 10-9 Brazil. The United States has come back from a big deficit. The United States trailed at 1.5-0. The Americans were behind 8-3 and 9-5. Tied the score at 9. And then just a moment ago, Brazil got another point. Here's Giovanni Gavio. If you're going to beat Brazil, you need to slow him down just a bit because he gets a lot of sets.
Already with his 7th kill, and that's about right. Giovanni Gavio is going to average probably 7 or 8, maybe 9 kills a game. And Negrão probably 11 or 12. He'll certainly be in double figures.
Great pass by Ctvrtlik. Landry chunks it down the line. There was a touch. They're going to say, and they're going to ask the second referee to come over.
The Brazilians were arguing that the shot from Dan Landry hit the antenna.
And so the second yellow card, I think it was on Marcelo Negrão, so we have to write that down.
The antenna's moving because the ball that Landry hit scraped along the top of the tape. There are 4 linesmen out here on the court. Very easy call to make when the volleyball comes in contact with the antenna. And if it does, violation, the ball goes to the other team.
Giovanni will serve. So 2 yellow cards issued to Brazil so far. The coach has 1, and Marcelo Negrão has 1. Brian Ivy peppers it, and Maurício can't go. Let's go down to Bill Walton. Bill?
All right, Chris, in that last timeout, the United States worked on adjusting the block on Brazil's big hitter, Giovanni. They feel that they're not timing themselves perfectly, and they're not positioning themselves right. The United States has to make the right adjustments. Chris?
Negrão. United States, pretty good defense. Out of the back line, and it's out of bounds. Has tied it up once again at 10.
Maurício Lima, the setter for Brazil, likes to take some chances, but that was an incredibly quick set. That was out of the back row.
The Americans trying to serve short. So far, Tande is not getting many sets.
Not enough. Arguably their best all-around player, and some would say if he continues to improve, the best of all time. The other player right now considered the top, of course, Renan Del Zotto, that we saw a lot of.
And don't forget the great Luis Aymar in the middle 70s, who we played against.
That was before my time.
Oh, who I played against. Bob Ctvrtlik getting the kill. And the Americans will have it.
Good combination play. Ctvrtlik once again on the right side. Ctvrtlik just sees the block better. He feels much more comfortable on the right as opposed to the left, and he's got a very unorthodox arm swing, and his percentage is 20-30 points higher on the right side.
Max is back in. Bittencourt went out. Jeff Nygaard serving. It's 10-10. Lima.
Look at Loy ball once again. He's way inside the court defensively and just out of position to defend the quick set.
Tied at 10. Loy ball, left side, Ctvrtlik. Nice dig by Tande. Tande gets it back. Ctvrtlik read him. Out of the A zone, Nygaard. Did he get the touch? I don't think so. And Brazil gets a point, 11-10.
Good transition play. Bob Ctvrtlik came as the off blocker, covered the roll shot by Tande, so was not available on the outside. Nygaard's got to crank away on that A set. The A is the left back, pipe out of the middle, the D zone, the right back. Out of the back row.
Back set, Lambert. And Michael Lambert, the green hammer. 8 kills for Lambo.
One-on-one isolation. Brian Ivy getting up early, and you can see that the Brazilians, talking about their blocking strategy, starting to commit a little bit right now in the middle block, one-on-one on the outside.
Maurício, the toughest set imaginable, and Tande makes do. What a great player. He has not lost his jump in the last couple of years. However, he is losing some of his hair. Tande, well, Ivy, nice dig, Maurício, Tande, and he spins it out of bounds. Jose Guimarães, the man who took Brazil to its first gold medal in volleyball. Ctvrtlik serving.
Once again, Lloyd Ball starting way too far inside, trying to help the middle blocker Brian Ivy on the quick set, but Giovanni's going to get the quick 4-set to the outside, and Lloyd Ball is just leaving wide open the straight down sideline.
11-10, Brazil by 1. Landry, and Landry hit it out. So the United States, just when you think the Americans have it going, hitting errors, hurting the cause. 14 hitting errors in game 1 for the United States, and still the Americans have a chance. Landry's got 6 of them. Lambert. How do you know when to take a Landry out? I mean, he's got 6 hitting errors. How long do you go there?
Well, in the beginning of the tournament and in the last weeks of training, he was the Americans' best passer. So right now, he may be getting some errors and costing the United States some points, specifically off his arm. But as long as he's contributing in other areas to make up for that, you accept it. But don't forget, the United States has tremendous depth, but Brett Sturm has shown a real residence to make changes so far in this tournament.
Pretty good pass, ball sets left. Here's Landry, and Landry hits it off the block. Nicely done. Game 1, Brazil up by 2. Brazil has led all the way. There was 1 tie at 9. We'll make that 2 ties, 1 at 9 and 1 at 10. Brazil forging the lead at 12-10. Combination play, Giovanni socks it up over to Tande. Yes, Tande gets the touch.
Brilliant dig by Giovanni in the back court. The blockers got down, got back up again. The play didn't develop quickly enough, and then Tande ripping high, hard, and flat. Everybody calling out by the United States, but clearly a touch called incorrectly.
Lambert. And Lambert puts it away. It's really a contrast in styles. You know, you go back to the United States, 84, 88. A lot of guys that used to like to talk and go. Brazil now has the guys that like to get it up and get going and talk it up. The United States is a very, very quiet team. I know that Bob Ctvrtlik is the guy, but he needs to conserve his energy. He's 33 years old. He can't go around running and screaming at every guy on the court the whole game.
Hey, the Lone Ranger got canceled a long time ago.
You're right.
He needs some help.
Yeah, bring in Tande.
Emotional help.
Where's Tande? Brazil sets right, Tande. And out of the reach of the Americans. Brazil 14, the United States 10. So now Brazil will have its first game point. This could be it, Tande. No, I don't think so. It did not cross the net.
Pretty good acting job by all of the Brazilians running around and celebrating like it was Carnival, but Tande, he knew in his soul that that ball was not over.
If I'm Rex Reed, I give him a thumbs down. I mean, come on. That was obvious. As Big Max whacks it. 14-10, game one. The United States has not played well, and yet the Americans have been in it. They have just not been able to get it all together. Great set by Volleyball, feeding to Ivy.
Brazil dominated early and has again gone on another run to dominate late, but the Americans were outplaying Brazil in order to get back into this game for a long time. They just have to forget about the scoreboard and go back to that level of play.
Lima sets left, Negrão off the hands, out of bounds. Negrão going right through the American block. I finally figured it out, Paul. I know what makes Volleyball tick.
What is that?
And what makes him tick-tock? Blocking. That's what thrills Volleyball. If he doesn't block, he doesn't play well. If he's stuffing balls and you see the blowfish and you see the lips as Brazil goes and gets it. And a nice block by the United States.
Bill Walton reported that, of course, the coaches were saying against Marcelo Negrão, you've got to time him out a little bit better. He's a tremendously high flyer, so that means usually wait a little bit. Big jumper, he hits a little bit on the way down, tries to create seams and weaknesses in the block, and that matchup will certainly be key.
Max Pereira serving. Game point number 4. So Brian Ivy will have it now. Let's see if Ivy continues to jump serve his little jump floater, or will he float serve? No, going to the floater. He used to have a very good one, and that's a pretty good one. At the 3-meter line, here comes Giovanni, and Giovanni hits it out. So Ivy, getting rid of the jump floater, serves the hard floater, and the Americans pull up to 14-11. Off the hands. Chance for an American point. Landry. Oh, he bounced it off the tape. Set right, Negrão. Brazil going for it in a free ball. Who do you set of your Loy ball? How about a quick set?
Yeah,
Nygaard.
Tough chance. This is way off the net.
And Landry hits it out.
Excellent block by Brazil. When the United States had the free ball opportunity, commit blocking. The quick set, certainly the aggressive play to make, but Brazil stopping the initial attack from Jeff Nygaard. That was the key to saving that play.
Fabio Marcelino comes in, 23-year-old front row sub. They call him Pina. He'll try to call out a one right here. Loy ball inside Landry. Oh, what a dig by Tande. Pina goes and gets it. United States, Nygaard, and he knocks Tande down.
Tande around the volleyball time and again. It says, dive right on me. I dug the ball up. Get on it.
I agree with him.
Absolutely.
He's in there sacrificing.
Give it the come on.
14-11 Brazil. Here comes Giovanni. Chance for an American point. Can the Americans turn one here? Lambert. No! And Lambert sliding underneath. United States transition. They're not getting the ball up to the net so they can run triple option.
Well, watch the height of this set. It seems that it's somewhere in between. It looks like Landry and Lambert want a higher set on the outside, but that the American coaching staff and Loy Ball want to set it quicker to the outside. They don't have their signals and timing together. I like the ball set quickly to the outside, but the hitters look like they're late.
I agree. Now, Dan Landry will serve. Looking over at the bench, looking for the green light. Jump floater. It's 14-11. And through the block goes Max. 7 kills for Max. Now Schwenke will serve. 7th chance for game point. Americans hanging on. The United States is siding out awful well. The Americans just can't score against Brazil.
Well, look at the point-scoring opportunities they have had. Nygaard's been stopped recently. And, of course, Dan Landry had a couple of swings earlier in this game that would have been very important. And here comes another.
Ivy rejected. I know the want to spread it out, Paul, but what about a combination play on a free ball? It's just 4-1-5 every single time.
It's too static, particularly against a team of this quality, but the difference in the game, point scoring opportunities, the United States 5 of 20. That is horrible.
It is game point for Brazil. Americans in trouble. Ctvrtlik on the left. Lambert, can he get it over? Yes. Brazil, look out below. Lima. Nice block, Ctvrtlik. Americans trying to save game point. Lambert, no! And Brazil wins game 1.
It was the blocking early, and then certainly the blocking finalement late for Tande and his mates against the United States to finally close it out.
Home of the Atlanta Hawks. And right now, quite frankly, the American volleyball team playing like the Atlanta Hawks. Although the Hawks did make the playoffs.
They could use their new guy, Dikembe Mutombo, to come out and block middle.
Absolutely. Story has been the offensive firepower of Brazil. Marcelo Negrão, big numbers, 18 kills. Tande. And now, Brett Winslow makes his first appearance in the Olympic Games. He beat out Dexter Rogers for the final Olympic spot. He is instant coffee. If anybody can get the American team going, he could be the man.
So competitive that during a rally, during the latter stages of Olympic preparation, lost the point, slammed his hand into the floor, broke it, and for a while, after making the team, came close to losing his spot because of his, well, intensity.
Fred Sturm says he's the first draft choice on the all-karma team. Let's see what he can do. 13-8 when Winslow comes in. Nice up by Brazil. And Brazil crossed over. Keep your eye on Winslow, number 17 in blue. He's going to get the crowd going now. 13-9. And the put away. Max answering with the quick set. Now Tande will serve. American serve receive. It's Landry and Ctvrtlik. Stork and Brian Ivy puts it away. Great set by Jeff Stork.
Absolutely, and there was a real moment of confusion on the part of the American team as to who Bob Ctvrtlik wanted to come in and help pass. And it was Mike Lambert right on top of the net. Jeff Stork making the saving set.
Americans trying to turn a point. Landry, deep, yes.
Can see how this crowd will get involved in helping to support the American team. We just got to put somebody out there with a lot of fire, and that was certainly Winslow.
13-10 now. Giovanni hits it out. Here come the Americans. It's now 13-11. Ctvrtlik serving. Left side. Back set. Ctvrtlik with a dig. Landry. He just missed it.
That's been the story, Chris. The United States has played well enough to possibly have won game 1, but it has missed point scoring opportunities that have made the win impossible.
Max serving. Ace for Max. What a turnaround there. A missed hit down the line that would have given the Americans 13-12 now. It is 14-11 Brazil. Max serving game point.
Mentioned the confusion, the rotation before. Same thing, Lambert in late.
This could be it. Marcelo Negrão, see ya!
At this level of play, if you relax for a moment or lose your concentration, it's over like that. The United States was a couple of inches away with a swing down the sideline from Dan Landry. And then again, Lambert's in as the third passer against Max's jump serve. And quickly, you know that Maurício is going, where is number 1? And he's going hammering cross court. Brazil leads 2-0.
July 27th, 1992. The American men shaved their heads in support of Bob Samuelson. The American fans saying, I wish we had those baldies right now. They played better than this group, at least tonight, 4 years ago. As Negrão pounds it through, and it is target practice, and the Americans are the targets.
5 stuff blocks. Brazil just showing no respect whatsoever for the Americans' ability to stop them at the net, so they're just swinging free and easy, and most balls are going to the floor.
Ivy serving. Does the United States have enough to start a small rally? What is wrong with the American block? They just cannot get a stuff.
You know, fundamentally, this is a very good blocking team, particularly Jeff Nygaard and Brian Ivy. Rod Wild there. And on the computer screen, Rod Wild is the offensive coordinator, Rudy Suara the defensive coordinator, going with Volleyball, saying, look, in this rotation, this is the play that's working. When we set left side in rotation number 3, the back row, the D is the best set. So you would think that given this conversation, they're thinking certainly about bringing Loy back in the near future.
However, Ball does not have his warm-up off, so maybe not imminent. I think I'd go with Ball right now. I'd bring him in. What do you have to lose?
Nothing. You can bring Stork back in. If
Absolutely.
You start a game at the international rules, if you start a game, you can leave and come back. As a sub, you can come in once. If you leave, you're done for that particular game.
9-4 Brazil all over the United States. Dan Landry dug up. Great pass. Lima sets left. And Tande is dug by Ivy. Lambert. And Lambert wails it out of bounds. But Maurício is injured, and he is down bad. Lambert on the fly took out Maurício. And if he is hurt seriously, Brazil's hopes for a medal are gone.
The ball was set very close to the net to Mike Lambert. And there's always a chance, of course, of the hitter coming under the net. We don't know, of course, what the condition of Maurício Lima is, but it looks serious.
The setter and quarterback of Brazil.
Now watch at the ground. There's Lambert going under. Yes, Maurício Lima lands on the foot of Mike Lambert, and his ankle completely went over. This is tough to look at. Don't see it so much from that angle, but you could see his ankle completely go over. He's wearing ankle braces, which a lot of the players wear these days. Of course, in our day, Chris, we always used to tape, and that was good for about the first half game until you sweat through it. But Maurício Lima is wearing ankle braces, which have become very prevalent with a lot of volleyball players around the world.
The backup setter for Brazil is number 2, Cássio Pereira, a 24-year-old out of Rio, and he is very good. And Mauricio saying, I think he wants to stay in. Let's see. Can he go back in? He can. So Mauricio says to Cássio, sit down. There is Cássio Pereira.
Lambert going under. It's his left ankle. You see the land there. Wow, and clearly those braces might have just saved Brazil any hope of getting into the medal round. Without Maurício Lima, they're a different team.
The United States has made a substitution. Dan Landry has been taken out, and Scott Fortune is going to get his chance. Fortune in at 10-4. Can he turn it around for the United States? Brian Ivy with the put away. How will that affect Brazil? You think that's a downer for them mentally? You mean for Brazil?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think all the more immediacy that they need to finish this match in a hurry and get Maurício into a bucket of ice. I think they're aware of the fact that he's trying to gut it through. We've both unfortunately sprained our ankles too many times to count. And if you can play through it for a while, finish the match, and then get treatment afterwards, you have a much better chance, rather than stopping now and let all that blood and everything bother you. And Jeff Stewart going right at Maurício Lima, who is limping noticeably as he moves around the court.
The United States trailing 10-4. Maurício limping on an obviously gimpy ankle. The Americans need to make their run right now if they have any hopes. Set to Tande. And Tande, he has been too much. 22 kills, and we haven't even finished 3 games.
That was a marvelous set. Maurício Lima moving off the net, just absolutely putting the ball in perfect position.
United States confused, and the Americans give up another point. 11-4 Brazil. Head coach Fred Sturm has been trying to find the right combination. He has just not been able to.
You don't see Fred Sturm yell very often. He's analytical, very quiet as a coach, really into the numbers and the scouting. But I'll tell you, he's getting vocal with his team right now. I don't think he likes the level of their intensity.
Tande again. Brazil romping over the Americans. Poorly. But the Americans could get a point right here. Loy ball to Fortune, and Fortune puts it away.
Well, Fortune has brought a little new ammunition, reloading here. Loy ball going to him time and time again, and the veteran just cranking the ball against Brazil.
Lambert into the bottom of the net. It appears now that the USA men's team might have the same problem the USA women's team has, deciding which players should be in and which combinations.
More muddled on the women's side. Fred Sturm will not substitute as freely as does Fred Sturm. He'll probably go right back to the same starting lineup against Bulgaria. We should wait and see.
Tande. We have come to match point. The Brazilians have looked like the defending Olympic champions.
And they have been the more emotional team, the more determined team. They have been hungrier. And they have kept the American crowd out of the match.
Match point. This could be it. Maurício, Giovanni. Oh, what a play by Tande to Giovanni. And the Brazilians still alive, looking to put away match point. Pena. That's it. What a play by number 14, Tande. Is he a scrambler? Unbelievable all the way, Paul.
Led the team offensively, passes a lot of the court with Giovanni. I'll tell you, the Brazilians got on a roll early in Barcelona. They might have just gotten on a roll a little bit later here. Don't count this Brazilian team out of the medals. They play with more passion than anybody in the world. This is the beginning of the play. A long rally at game point. Tande thought for a second. Oh, tremendous commitment. That's the kind of play that fires your team up and brings them together. And just a marvelous set at the end, and Pena detonating down the line. And Jose Guimarães, the head coach, flying off the bench. A long rally, and this sort of epitomized the whole match. Brazil time and again winning the long rallies. Just one too many guns, and just hungrier, as I mentioned, Chris, than the American team. Just an unbelievable save by Tande. And then Maurício, gimpy foot and all, turning to Pena.
How about that set?
And he collades it. I got to steal it from you.
So the United States just could not figure it out tonight. Brazil with a picture-perfect performance, and Loy ball, the United States take gas 3-0. Tande, he was the man, and the crowd salutes him on the far side. Brazil beats up the United States.
Battle, and Korea hangs in, staying alive. Well, that's what Korea can do. They play the great defense. Just when the United States thought they would close it out.
I'm not sure they can do it quite enough. U.S. team playing exceptionally well right now.
Endicott setting Elaina Oden. U.S. sides out. Another match point opportunity. Endicott, who has served this team nearly off the court with the service error. Have they lost the focus? Perhaps some concentration with the big lead?
Well, certainly you do lose some. You lose some concentration. I'm not sure it would matter. They only need 1 point. They're going to win this game. depends on how close Korea can make it. Not very, I don't think.
Well, the big block up from Elaina Oden. Also there, Tammy Liley. Well, again, the United States looking for victory. And the captain serves. Car cross battle. Soft block, chance for the U.S. Handicap setting. Americans cannot put it down. Park. She's roofed. The United States has won. Elaina Oden. 15-3 in game 4. What a tear by the Americans, scoring the final 26 of 30 points.
Has come back with great serving and some excellent blocking at the net. Dimo Tonev has served 3 aces. The last one was on the white of the line. On the outside white of the line, the last little painted area. Now he will serve again. And a yellow card being awarded, I believe, to Tonev.
No, he just fell on his butt. What he's complaining about is the floor is soaking wet. And finally, after this delay, one of the court wipers is going to come out and do the proper maintenance. Remember, Brian Ivey tore cartilage in his knee at the Barcelona Olympics and knocked him out until the bronze medal match. He subsequently had to have surgery. And now the player's saying, please, wipe up the floor. He took a terrible spill after landing after his ace.
Here's Tom Sorensen, and Sorensen puts it away. So the United States will have it. Interestingly, they changed the rules on floor wiping after that. Now they have wipers that run out after a dive is made. They wipe up the floor and scurry back off, which is very, very effective. Here's Loy ball. It's 7-6 United States, set left. And off the hands, a good shot by number 11, Naidenov. They say of Naidenov, he was recently married, and he concentrates better now. His wife got him straightened out as a player. How about that?
When's that going to happen to you?
Kind of like you, baby. 7-6. And Jeff Nygaard has looked very impressive. He has been almost automatic. He has 11 kills. He's hitting .714. Sunderland kind of numbers.
He was missing out of the offensive system a little bit in those 2 back-to-back losses, only averaging 3 kills a game. Way ahead of that. And when you get a middle blocker involved offensively, you really get him focused, and all of a sudden he's digging more balls, he's blocking more balls, he's jump serving better. That was a pretty lazy swing by Lubomir Ganev, and Nygaard made him pay for it.
Pitar Ozunov, whose hero is Chuck Norris, comes in. He's going to try to kick up a couple of balls, and going out is Dimo Tonev. So John the Hand Hayden to serve. Got his chance at the 95 World Cup. Fortune was out, Landry was injured, and Hayden went in and played well. Ball dug by Ivey. Americans chance for a point. Hayden whacked it. Americans going to get it back. Hayden looks very aggressive and very good. Sorensen puts it away.
Sorensen with his 9th kill, but you're right. The Hand made 2 very big plays on a set 18 feet off the net. Hit it with enough steam to create the rebound error from Bulgaria, led to the free ball play.
Hayden, one of the Americans that has the green light on the jump serve. Here comes Ganev, and Ganev hit it out. Lubo is begging for a touch, screaming at the referee saying, touch, 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 but he's not going to get it. Well, we've talked a lot about the United States players and the Fred Sturm meeting, the big meeting involving the players airing their grievances. A little earlier, Bill Walton talked to Fred Sturm and asked him about the infamous meeting.
It was a good meeting. It was a way for all of us to kind of vent how we were feeling about our losses to Cuba and to Brazil. And it was good for the players. They had some things they wanted me to know. I had some things that I wanted them to know. And what we came from that meeting basically is that we're going for it for the remainder of the tournament. We're just going to play aggressive, hard, tough volleyball. I got 12 guys that I can use anytime. And that was the bottom line. That's what came from the meeting.
Everybody on the same page now?
Yes, yes. That's what, in fact, that's one of the strengths of this team. We got 12 guys who will do whatever it takes to win.
Number 3, John Hayden, was one of the most outspoken players at the meeting. Tell us what he said.
Well, he stood up and said, look, coach, I know I can contribute to this team. I was a starter for a long time. All I want to do is play. Give me a chance. I want to help the team win, and his time has come. He was the last player, it seems, of all on the American squad to get in the match. He's already had a huge impact here against Bulgaria.
Serving Naidenoff. This is game 2. The United States leading 10-6. Naidenoff with the air. Both teams racking up the airs, trying to augment those errors with aces. Bulgaria has 14. The United States now with 11.
You balance that with aces. The United States now has 3 aces, and service aces for Bulgaria also 3. So even though they're double digits in misses, the pressure from the near aces is also there as well. All those rebound scores you got to count in there.
KG veteran Dimo Tonev comes back in. Jalaskov serving. United States 10, Bulgaria 6. Sorensen. Nice up by Jeff Nygaard. That saved the point. Hayden. And Hayden was not ready for that, and the ball hit out of bounds. So make it 10-7. Bulgaria came back to tie it at 10. We were tied at 11 just moments ago. A Sorensen dig and a kill by Brian Ivey that has given the United States a 13-11 lead. A must-win situation for the Americans. They need to beat Bulgaria to get into the crossover and have a chance for a medal. If they lose to Bulgaria, most likely the Americans will be out. Left side, Bob Ctvrtlik is coming on now. The captain has 5 kills.
And once again, the pattern going to Ctvrtlik for side outs. Quicker set to the outside after the middle blocker for Bulgaria has been frozen. They won't go to him so much in point-scoring situations.
Americans by 2, set left. And a nice dig by Jeff Nygaard. The Americans to go to 14. Hayden got it!
A little good fortune going the Americans' way, and John Hayden getting his first action of the Olympic Games has played pretty well. Dribbling this one down.
Gavrilov goes out. Lubo Ganev back in. Karchkarai is here. Volleyball's only 3-time gold medalist. And his teammate in 88, Ctvrtlik serving. First game point. Crowd is up. Back set. Ganev and Lubo Ganev. 19 kills. Ganev 6'10 3/4, 270 pounds of heat. Mountain. Yes.
Mountainous volcanic heat.
He is a great player, and he's been the story for Bulgaria. The Americans have not been able to stop him. Now, bad pass. Right over the net. Ristov and the put away. Ristov giving the ball to Dimo Tonev. Make the score 14-12 now. Tonev with 4 kills.
And the scouting report on Bulgaria is that they will go to Tonev towards the end of games. Very, very clever. Knows how to get the ball to the floor.
Volleyball, quick set, and Ivy is stuffed. That play has not been working for the Americans. And now it is 14-13 as Bulgaria down by just 1. Martin Stoev serving.
Watch this ball go to Sorensen. Bad pass.
Ball. Ctvrtlik slides it up. John Hayden. Rocket. John Hayden replaced Dan Landry. Tom Sorensen replaced Mike Lambert. Now, the Americans will take out Brian Ivey, who has a jump floater, and put in Dan Landry, who has a better jump floater.
And is quicker defensively, and one of the best things about Landry so far in the Olympic Games has been his ability to dig heat. Now would be an opportune time.
Second game point for the Americans. Oh, and a big hit by Dino Tonev. Nygaard jumped, but that went right by, sizzling some pits.
Great set by Ristov, but that's the pattern for Bulgaria. You're going to go to Tonev, and very, very clever. One of their most veteran players, and he comes through with a huge kill to stave off game point.
Tonev is 32 years old, a veteran of 88. Tom Sorensen down the line. Stoev got the dig. Americans scrambling. Ctvrtlik. Bulgaria can tie right here. Naidenoff. Dug up by Ctvrtlik. Set left. Hayden. And the Bulgarians hook the net. 2 Bulgies into the net. What a dig by Captain Bob Ctvrtlik. Point blank range with decks awash. He took it. 3rd game point for the Americans. Back set. Ganev again. Lubo Ganev.
He just magmas the block. He's a big mountain.